My name is Stan Smith. I am the owner and head trainer at Iron Sharp Canine. I've been training dogs for about 10 years, and what got me into dog training is when I was in college, I had a dog run out of my front door, had zero line of communication, had no way of calling him back, and tragically, he ended up getting hit by a car. When I first got into it, I didn't even know anything about the dog training world. I just really didn't want to lose my dog. So it was just a genuine joy for having the dogs around. And then once I got online and, people started recognizing us from America's Top Dog, then you started to see people really weren't having fun with their dogs. They would have the dogs, they didn't look like they wanted to work, their tails aren't wagging, they're not motivated, they're being forced to do all these things. And one thing that we've just did is we've made people start having more fun with their dogs. We start showing them that, hey, it doesn't have to always be World War III with your dog. You always don't have to have a wrestling match with your dog. Sometimes just hang out with them. My communication wasn't the very best because I didn't go through a school or I didn't have somebody telling me step by step this is what a dog was supposed to do. I just kind of figured it out on my own because it was just a feeling. I was like, I feel like this is gonna work, and it worked. So I couldn't explain the science and the theory behind it. So when they would ask me questions, I didn't have the right answer. But then I started realizing there's not really a right answer, because even the professional dog trainers that say all of the correct terminology, they can't really tell you the why behind it. They can say all of the right words, but if they have a dog where that doesn't work, they can't tell you how to do it any other way. Versus when we find a dog that doesn't work on something, it's like, cool, let me see something else, let me try this. I have so many different tools on the belt. So then I became able to make people understand at the level that they're at. So one thing that I do when I have clients come out, I ask them, what do they do growing up? Some people say, I play video games. Some people said they do sports. Some people ride horses. And then I try to make analogies of what the dog is doing to something they like. And then it starts to click, because I'm not talking over their head, saying something that they don't understand and making people feel stupid for not understanding. I'm making them understand at the level that they are at. When I get a dog for the first time, say for instance in a board and train, I'm gonna spend at least 3 to 5 days, sometimes even a week, just buddying up with this dog. I want this dog to understand that I'm not here to hurt you. I want you to like me. We're gonna find out what the dog likes, whether it's balls, whether it's treats, whether it's just love and affection. And then you find those things and then you try to motivate them to want to work with you. I never knew that I would be training dogs. I didn't grow up with dogs. I just kind of got into it, and I never knew I would be having my own business. I didn't know what I was going to do when I grew up. I thought I was just going to be military like my pops, because that's what he did. But that was not the path that, God had for me. And now I'm here doing this, and I'm just passionate about showing people that they can. And even if it is something else, people hit me up all the time like, man, I want to do this. Well, just give it a shot, bro. Like, if you want to be a photographer, get a camera, start taking pictures, find some people that are going to help you, and just do it. But I don't think people realize that you have to put in the work. And everybody wants everything super quick, and that's just not how it is. You're gonna have to put in the time. Like they said, it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. And even then, now you're just scratching the surface, because there's always gonna be something you can learn. There's always gonna be a different perspective, but you gotta keep an open mind to anything, and you have to put in the work. I have children, I have people that look up to me, and I want them to have a positive, male role model that they can look up to and believe in. And it's not going to be a simple, easy path. Sometimes you're going to have failures. Sometimes you're going to have mistakes along the way. And really what matters is what you do when those mistakes happen, what you do when those hurdles come. Do you give up, or do you keep pushing forward? So I like to lead by example, and that inspires me because I know it's a lot bigger than just me. Being black, you have to be twice as good. You don't get as many opportunities to mess up as other people. So when you do get those opportunities, you got to make sure you knock it out the park. And I've been able to do that, from being on America's Top Dog to going to police dog competitions to working with rescues. Every time I get the opportunity to showcase my skills, I've always been good at doing that. And that's just one thing that you got to keep in mind. When you do get these opportunities, you got to make sure you put your best foot forward, and you got to make sure that you don't put your foot in your mouth. One message I would give to up-and-coming dog trainers is take your time and don't overpromise to people, and set realistic expectations. A lot of people are going to come and say, oh, I want a dog just like, I always get, I want a dog like Boo. And I say, no, you don't. They're like, yeah, I do. Okay, do you want to do something every day with your dog for 3 years and then still have stuff to work on? And they're like, oh, I gotta actually work to get that. And the thing is, you don't have to have a dog like Boo, but have the dog for your lifestyle. So up and coming trainers, when you are working with clients and you're working with people that are coming out, don't try to make their dog something that you would want. Make their dog the best dog for their life. Because at the end of the day, they have to live with that dog. They have to spend the time with the dog. And if they're not liking something about it because you're trying to make that dog be something that it's not, they're not going to put in the time. So I always tell people, hey, my level, when I got into training, it was competition. If your dog doesn't sit in 2 seconds, you start getting points counted off. But in everyday life, it doesn't matter how fast your dog does it. So you want to make sure that the dog is actually doing it and responding. So if it takes 3 to 5 seconds, that is okay. If the dog does have a bad day, it is okay because you're not being judged on the dog. You're just living with the dog. I've always kind of ran away from being the leader. I never just really wanted the spotlight, believe it or not. When I tell people that, they're like, no, you love it. I hate it. I hate being on camera. I hate being in front of it. I hate telling people what they're supposed to be doing. I don't like those things. It's never been me. But even in sports, we were always the team captain. We were always the person that people came and talked to when they needed some advice and all of these different things. And I just have to stop running from it. So I definitely want to grow. I want to get some more trainers under me so I can help them grow as well. And then I can do even more stuff like this where we can start getting our voice out, getting the message, and helping people realize that you just have to do the work. You don't have to have the end goal in sight. You just have to know that you want to get better, especially with these dogs. One of my favorite quotes from David Goggins is, there's no finish line. There is no finish line. There's always going to be something that you can do. There's always going to be something that you can make better.